welcome to another episode of The Whitest Mexican You Know. Obviously, I'm your host, Antonio, the whitest Mexican you know. Every episode, I try to have some of the best local Las Vegas comics on, but today's a little bit different because I got my man, Brandon Dolly, all the way from Corpus Christi, Texas.
Yes, sir.
What's up, brother?
How's it going?
It was a rough one last night.
Yeah, I know. I tapped out at 1:30. You kept on going.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we were supposed to do this at noon today.
yeah. And
I didn't get home until 10 a.m.
Yeah,
It's
you
fucked.
you gave me a text and I went back to bed. So thank you. Like, I needed that sleep that you did not get.
Yeah, that extra sleep. I pretty much just had a power nap.
Yeah.
So how was Vegas this trip? Because you come out here a lot.
Yeah, this is my, third trip of the fucking year?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Did a solo trip in February. No, actually, I think this is 4. Did a solo trip in February, came out in April, came back in June, and now I'm here in October.
Damn.
So, yeah, I did a group comedy trip, a solo trip, a trip with a girlfriend that we then broke up. And then another group comedy trip with my boy Nando Cantu from Laredo came out with me this trip.
Yeah. And by the time this episode comes out, his would have already dropped.
Oh,
so.
Fucking cool. You had him on last week, right?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. He's a cool cat.
Dude, he was real cool.
Yeah.
That podcast was fun. We were just talking about, because he's significantly older than me.
Yeah.
And so he was just talking about how he was crazy in his 20s and this,
Yeah.
that, and the other. And I'm like, dude, I'm still living it.
He went so hard, he became sober. Like,
Yeah.
he gave up everything. He's like, no drinking, no drugs, no nothing.
Yeah.
Like, he just needs to, like, give himself to God at this point.
And I'm on that path now. I'm like, I'm going to have to do something before it kills me.
You need to come to Jesus moment.
The shit that I just took, that was almost a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah, I heard it. Like, you were definitely praying on there. So,
have you ever had, like, bad drinking problem or anything like that? Something that you stay away from now?
Kind of in my 20s. I was a bit of a drinker, but by the time I hit like 25, 26, like, I was just done with the hangovers.
No, yeah.
I was like, I'll drink every once in a while, but not to excess. Like, I'm pretty good about knowing when to push back. I think you saw me, like, drunk one day out of this trip, and I've been out here, like, fucking 7 or 8 days. That's pretty good moderation, but you saw me blackout drunk that night.
And that's the thing. I didn't even realize how drunk you actually were until you were telling me the next day.
Yeah,
I
can handle it pretty well where I'm, like, not making an ass out of myself, but I do know, like, when I start fucking up.
Oh, yeah. And I'm the same way, which is kind of dangerous because people will, like feed you drinks and shit. And they're like, oh, he doesn't look drunk. But at that point, it's like, I didn't even remember that.
Yeah. It's some crazy times out here, man. And you live out here. Like,
yeah. It's starting to fucking weigh on me.
Dude, how many years now?
About 3.
3?
Like it just hit 3 years.
3 years, and this town has not killed you yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's positive affirmations, bro.
I'm a professional at this point.
Yeah.
I know how to be a degenerate.
I do this for a living.
Exactly. It can't go on much longer, though.
Yeah.
I'm definitely thinking about moving to Texas. Like, that's going to be the next.
Dude, Texas has a great fucking comedy scene, dude.
Yeah.
It is one of the fastest growing ones in the nation, I would say.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's just so far spread apart.
Mm-hmm.
We've never had the cohesion that we have now.
Yeah.
Social media and Facebook has made it so much easier to network, especially across a state as big as Texas.
Yeah.
So we have...
That's the one thing that's crazy to me is, how far everything is in Texas.
Yeah.
But you could still find, people who know everybody from every city. You know what I mean? It's like everybody still knows each other, even though they could be 5 hours away from each other. And that's awesome.
Texas comedy is a family. It's an extended family, but it's definitely a family. And you get to know a lot of your brothers and sisters in comedy who you do shows consistently with.
Yeah.
And year after year after year, that grows.
Yeah. And how long have you actually been doing comedy?
Seriously, that's a difficult question. 3 to 4 years, seriously, where I gave it my all.
Okay.
Made it one of my driving focuses in my life. Hit every mic that I could. got out and networked, did shows where I not necessarily got paid, but did it for the exposure, did it because I wanted to get the experience.
Yeah.
And now it started to pay dividends. But the first time I walked onto an open mic stage was like 2012, 2013.
Okay.
And I did it like 3 or 4 times that year, and I just didn't stick with it.
Okay.
And then I did that consistently over a couple more years where, I mean, I worked a lot. I was going to school. Like, I just didn't have the time to make it my driving focus, because, I mean, either you're a hobbyist where, I mean, you're okay with doing a mic every once in a while, or you start taking it serious where you're like, I want to get booked. I want to host. I want to feature. I want to guest spot. I want to get out and I want to see the road. And that's when I think you start taking it serious.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I could see in Texas how it's kind of easier to just be a hobbyist. You know, if you don't want to drive 2 or 3 hours to the next show or wherever, you do that one a week and you're just, you know, whatever. But out here, I always say there's no reason. Like, if you're going to take it serious, out here you can do that. It's like
you really can. You can get in 3 or 4 mics every single night in Vegas. Back home in Corpus, we have 2 mics a week. They're in town. One Wednesdays night at Sal's Bronx Pizza in Corpus Christi.
Nice.
That's my home club right now. The other one's Mesquite Street Pizza Company in Corpus on Thursdays.
Okay.
So if you stick in Corpus, you can get 2 mics a week. But that's what really separates the hobbyists from the people that are taking it serious. Do you want to get in your car the other days and drive 3 or 4 hours to be able to hit in your 3 to 4 to 5 mics a week? How serious are you?
And that's definitely commitment, because it's easy out here. Like, we're spoiled out here because everything is 20 minutes away. And then, like you said, there's 3 mics a night. But it also breeds alcoholics.
It definitely does. There are a lot of Texas comics that know when to push back from the table just because we gotta drive. I mean, I actually live in Kingsville, which is 45 minutes outside of Corpus. So to give you an idea, I drive 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back 2 times a week to be able to hit the Corpus mic. 2 hours and 30 minutes if I'm going to San Antonio to hit their mics. 2 hours if I'm driving to Laredo.
That's wild.
So being able to moderate your drinking, I think, is much bigger in Texas because you just can't take Ubers like you can here. I mean, this is an easy town to be an alcoholic in. Like, you can just take a cab or an Uber anywhere you want to go.
It's easy. You'll spend a fuck ton of money, but it's easy.
I spent a pretty good amount of money this trip, but you've been helping me out with fucking rides. And that is the Texas hospitality. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah, you're driving like 3 or 4 cities, 3 or 4 hours to go to these cities for mics. But a lot of times you meet comedians that open their houses to you. They'll be like, come crash on my couch. I got a spare guest room. Like, it seems like Texas comedy is much more of a family. Like, we have that Southern hospitality. And I mean,
that makes sense. That really makes sense. Because out here, I mean, fucking people will hardly ever give you a ride if you needed it. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a different scene. Y'all have to deal with a lot more crazy out here. In Texas, I mean, there's crazy out there at our mics. I mean, it's comedy, dude. It's bound to happen. But a lot of times there's a certain level where that gets drummed out. Where, I mean, if you're going on the road, like working as a feature comic or working as an opener for someone, very rarely will you bump into a comedian that runs in those circles that has a bad reputation that fucks people over. A lot of times, I mean, those are people that have been doing comedy for years and years and years and years that have sterling reputations, great fucking hearts, and they open their fucking doors to you. Like Irma Ruiz. Irma is the mother of San Antonio comedy. She's given a lot of amazing comics their first run. She took a bunch of comics up to Chicago. A while back and did a Chingona show. My friend cousin Berto was on that. So really cool guy.
Dude, hell yeah. And I remember a couple of times that's how I met Irma, is that she came out here and she had a gang of Texas comics with her. And she, you know, took them through all the mics out here. That's how I met Otis Hicks. You know.
So you were there in 2020 during our first comedy trip. We took I think it was 10 or 12 comics from all over the state took them out to Texas. We had El Paso represented. We had San Antonio. We had Corpus.
Yeah.
It was a blast. It was the first ever Texas comedy invasion of Vegas, at least with our group of comics.
Yeah.
And it keeps growing every single year.
That's awesome.
I love bringing Texas comics out here
Yeah.
to experience it. So does Irma.
Yeah.
Without Irma, that would have never fucking happened.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. It's like I want to do the same thing with these Vegas guys, because we got a lot of great comics out here.
Dude, you do.
But they're stuck here.
Yeah.
And it's like just this past month when I went out to Texas, it was the first time that I really did shows out there. You know what I mean? Like I had an established set.
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing, and I got, a handful of shows out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really good to get that experience, just getting out of, Vegas and the comedy scene here, and then going out there and seeing, okay, how the crowds are a little different, the people that you run into are a little different, and Vegas comics need that because they're so spoiled here, they don't see the need to venture out.
Exactly. I think Vegas comedy is this rare thing that really doesn't exist except like in LA or New York, where there's so many things happening. You have major comedy clubs, you have bar mics, you have showcases.
Yeah.
If you are a Vegas comic, you have no reason to leave Vegas. If that's all you want is stage time, fucking stay in Vegas. Get your reps in. Like, you can progress. This is the gym, as one Vegas comic described it. This is the gym where you go to work out. You get your reps in here. You don't get famous in Vegas. You leave Vegas, go on the road, and get famous. And that's what a lot of comics don't understand is you gotta get out. And even just getting outside of Texas to Vegas and seeing this makes me hungry to check out more cities. I want to get out to LA. I want to get out to New York. I want to get out to fucking Colorado.
Everywhere. It's like once you get a little bit of a taste outside of your home, your comedy home, then you're like, oh shit. Especially when you see, because I was in Austin and I saw the mountains of open micers out there, and I could tell that they get stuck in what they're doing, and then everybody just circle jerks and tells each other that they're great.
Good set, bro. Good set.
And it was the worst thing to see, because I'm like, dude, I just suffered through a 5-minute story that you had that went nowhere. And that was like half of the comics that I saw.
Austin comedy is weird. Yes, it's our state capital. Yes, it's blowing up because Joe Rogan's moving there. Tony Hedgecliffe is doing Kill Tony. But there's so many comedians working it. It's a bit like Vegas in that way. Like, you got like 100, 200 comics. Like, how do you stand out? Like, and it's really hard. Yes, the cream eventually rises to the top in that fucking scene, but some of those guys are still douchebags. So, I mean, you don't see like the heart and soul that you see down south. I mean, I can only testify to what I know about South Texas comedy, but it's a little bit different. You got people that truly want it. I was talking with a comic when I did a guest spot in Boulder. Shout out to Manfred Hine.
Manfred
for giving
Hine. Backstop in Boulder City.
Yes. I was talking with one of the feature comics over there, and he was like, dude, I've been living in my fucking car, like going and doing road gigs, and it made me realize, like, how bad do you want this dream? And that's what you don't see a lot in Austin. You don't see the sacrifice because there's just so much stuff going on. They're spoiled. And because of that, like, that's why South Texas comedy is kicking Austin comedy in the fucking ass right now. I could say that. Start a fucking comedy turf war. What's up, Texas?
That's hilarious. But I mean, I feel like Austin is kind of like LA in that sense, where people start doing comedy and they expect to get famous quick. So they don't feel like they have to grind or really put in the effort. They think, oh, I'm going to get discovered. And it's definitely, I've heard that about LA comedy. And I saw it a little bit out in Austin.
We're very much pay your dues. Pay your dues. Do your mics, do your showcases, do your guest spots, do things like drive headliners to fucking gigs for a guest spot. Like, that is some of the dues that you got to pay, and the advice that you get on those road trips. Yes, it's 3 or 4 hours in between cities, but you have comics talking
Yeah.
in the cars, singing along to the radio, stopping
Yeah.
at Buc-ee's for
Right.
some brisket, dude. It's a magical opportunity to bond
Yeah.
as comedians, as a
And it's
comedy
like
family.
the one thing I love to do more than anything is hang out with a gang of comics and just talk shit, you know?
Yes.
And so if you could do a road trip with them for
Yeah.
4 hours, like
Yeah.
it doesn't get any better than that.
Exactly. You really bond. Laredo Funny has a saying that I absolutely loved. And whenever a crazy thing would happen on the road or they would have a fucking setback, they would just say, "That's the road, baby." That's the life of being a road comic in Texas. Like sometimes crazy shit fucking happens, bro. And you chalk it up to the experience. You chalk it up to paying your dues as a comic.
Yeah, yeah. And that's got to be great, because another thing that I need to get better at is not overwhelming my time so much with comedy, and go out and do other things, whether it's like, you know, fucking a hike or you know, like axe throwing or like just these little activities, because you get stories out of that. You can get bits out of that. But if you're at a bar every night,
you're not getting that activity. You're not seeing the sights. And I feel like that's a lot of what I do in Vegas a lot. I mean, I go out to shows after shows after shows, mic after mic after mic, and I really don't get to explore the city too much.
You're so caught up with comedy.
Every once in a while, though, I'll venture out and I'll visit something like really fucking cool. I got to see the rocks out there in the fucking middle of the desert. What are they called? Like the Seven Sisters? Just painted stacked rocks in the middle of the fucking desert, dude. Like, and it sounds cool, like on the internet. You're like, fuck yeah, that looks like majestic. But like,
you get out there, it's just fucking rocks.
Yeah, you drive 2.5 hours and you're like, fuck, bro, those are some rocks stacked in the fucking desert. Like, I have wasted 2.5 hours of my life. And then you get the obligatory photo.
Right. Hey, look at me, I was here.
I took a picture with the rocks. What's up, Vegas?
I'm not gonna go see those rocks while I'm out here.
I mean, the mountains were pretty. I mean, if you're ever gonna like do a murder in the desert, that would be a very peaceful place to do it. Just be like, go stare at the rocks, Lenny.
Stare at the rocks. Just choke them out. That's the one thing I always forget about Texas, because I lived in Colorado for a long time. I lived in California, and then now I'm out here. But before all that, I was in Texas. You know, and I forget how flat it is. Like, I'm used to mountains now.
Well, you were in the Waco area, right? That's where I was born. I was born in Waco, and then I kept on getting further and further and further south. They told me that weed and food was cheaper the further south you went. So I was like, I'll live 3 hours away from the border of Mexico, please.
No, my family escaped Mexico. So I'm not going that far south.
Well, dude, like, you can come visit, bro. Like, we'll take you to Laredo and you can see the border. Like, we won't push you across or anything.
Look at the rocks.
Look at the rocks.
Oh, that's great. So another thing, what made you want to actually do stand-up comedy?
Oh, dude, I have told this story several times. So when I started in 2012, I was doing an open mic in Kingsville, Texas, at a place called the Luau that was right next to Texas A&M Kingsville, the only university and landmark in town. And they had a weekly open mic, and it was all my friends. They all had amazing hobbies. Like, I'm not even joking. We had a magician and like a fucking juggler and like a bunch of band people. And like, I was like, dude, how can I fucking contribute to this? Like, I'm not musically talented. I fucking suck at guitar. Like, I mean, I can't fucking sing to save my life. So I was like, fuck it. I'll tell some dumb jokes. And I mean, I did that a couple times and a couple times. And I mean, it was all the things that you don't want as a stand-up comic starting off. Like, it was mixed media. It was in front of my friends. Like, I really was sucking at writing. Like, I go back to like the stuff that I was telling back then, and I just fucking cringe. It was bad. Like, and I found a passion in just making people laugh. Like, comedy is this weird drug. Where, I mean, you make people feel good. It's that instant gratification
Yeah.
of making someone laugh and vibe with you. Like it is a hobby unlike any other.
Yeah.
And I mean, just walking on that stage at that time, I didn't know that I was starting a lifelong addiction with stand-up comedy, man.
It only takes one.
Yeah. Like I often say to open micers, be careful walking on the stage, because either you'll do comedy once and you'll never do it for the rest of your life on stage.
Yeah.
Or you'll do it once at an open mic on stage and do it for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah.
So
and some people, they get on that stage every night and they're still not doing comedy.
Yeah. They're alt comics.
Did you watch a lot of stand-up like when you were young?
Yeah, I watched a lot of stand-up growing up. My dad always used to tell me, like, those like dirty like playground bar jokes. Like Gilbert Gottfried got famous for telling them back in the day, that style of comedy.
Yeah.
And it really like made me want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like to have a little joke to make someone chuckle. Like it's fucking fun, dude.
Yeah.
Like lighten up the situation. Comedy will.
And that's honestly, because I've been pretty much obsessed with comedy my entire life. You know, I was one of those people. Like when I saw it for the first time, it blew me away.
Yeah.
And so I've been obsessed. And I used to watch a lot of stand-up, and then there'd be times like when my family, like when shit's tense and people are fighting and this, that, and the other, that I would recite jokes that I heard, like from, let's say, like George Lopez or any of these guys, and I would just kind of do a bit that I remember just to try to break that tension.
So essentially you were doing Carlos Mencia's material.
Yeah, right? Yeah, pretty much. But I used to do that because it's like, like you said, there's really no greater feeling than when you are in a room full of people and you're just making them laugh their ass off.
Yes.
You know, because I've always loved not to be the center of attention, but I always loved when, I was hanging out and people are having a great time. Yeah. You know, and so to be the one that can provide that to a room full of people, there's no better feeling.
Dude, yes. And I wholeheartedly agree. Like, and the realization that as comedians, like, yes, we do that on the reg, but like a lot of times, like we're going through our own shit. Like it's like Tears the Clown, motherfucker. We're making people laugh with like we're dealing with some heavy fucking shit.
Oh yeah.
And being able to put your pain aside and still do your job as a comic and make people laugh, make them feel good.
And that's something that is mind blowing because I've done it, in a couple instances where it's like before I get on stage, I'm, fuck this, fuck my life, whatever. You get on there and you put on the mask and you go through it. Yeah. You made everybody laugh, whatever. You get off stage and it's right back to fuck this.
It's
fuck
reality, dude. Like
it's weird.
It's like a weird escapism. Like you get to be this thing if you take the opportunity, if you take the choice, like you get to be whoever you fucking want on stage for that 5, 10, 15 minutes. Like you can be a fucking character if you want, like Andy Kaufman, that shit. Like I've seen them happen. Like people do that shit. Like,
I've seen it.
And you're like, what the fuck, bro? They're like, like I'm just a fucking character, man. Like,
and that is the weirdest thing. It's like, especially if you don't know the person off stage and you see him on stage and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go meet that guy, and it's completely different. You're like, whoa, all right. Yeah. Another thing that impresses me, which I kind of have this element, but the one who impressed me more than anything was Jacob Yarborough.
Oh,
where he would get smashed drunk before a set, like slurring, barely walking, and then he would hit the stage
and sober up,
and it's
like
just
that.
sober. And he runs through everything. Got off stage and went right back to just shit drunk. I was like, how the fuck do you do that?
That is a consummate professional. Jacob Yarborough's been doing comedy in Texas in the San Antonio scene for fucking like
I think it's like 14 years or something. Like it's a long time.
It's been a good while.
Yeah.
And he's one of our finest comics that y'all stole away with your debauchery.
You can have him back.
Just put him in a crate and fucking fucking
Trust me, you
UPS it back.
you can have his ass back.
Just poke some air holes in the fucking box. No, dude, Yarborough's doing good out here.
Yeah.
He actually seems to be getting a handle on it.
Yeah.
A lot of times you see comics that move to this town, and dude, the bars never close.
Yeah.
Dude, weed dispensaries everywhere. Party never stops.
Yeah.
And I mean, the city eats some people alive.
Oh yeah.
And
it's like the regular person moving out here could have a real hard time. Like even with a 9-to-5 job, they can really slip into some bad shit.
Yeah, let alone a comic that's going out and drinking and going out to mics every single night. Like,
and I'm trying to pull my shit out of there because I slipped into that, and I've been slipping into that.
Yeah.
But it's like that's the thing. Is like no matter how hard I, get stuck in the party aspect of it, I'm still grinding every night.
Yeah,
it's like
you're still putting in your dues.
Yeah, a lot, and. It's not an excuse to keep slipping into it.
Yeah.
It's like, look how good I am at doing this.
I think, honestly, it's finding that moderation. Like, that is something that Vegas comics have that no other scenes probably have across the country. Like, if you have been doing comedy in Vegas for 10 years or more, I mean, I'd say even 5 years, and the city has not chewed you up and spit you out, you have the greatest self-control like ever, bro. Like, you like superhuman levels of fucking control not to gamble and drink and just do drugs and fuck hookers and just party. Like, this is like the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. And if you can make it out here as a comic, like, I really do think, like, if you've been doing comedy 5 years, 10 years, get on the fucking road. Get out there. You got some stories to fucking tell. You got some fucking control. Like, if you can crush it as a comic 5 years, 10 years in Vegas, you go outside, you will crush it. And that's what you see. You see comics like Bruce Purcell. Fucking gave me some good advice back in the day. He used to be the co-host for Randall Thompson at the Dive Bar. Gave me really good advice when I was out in Vegas a couple trips ago, that when you're in Vegas, talk about your state. Like, people want to hear about Texas. They don't want to hear about the city that you're from, even though, I mean, if you're from Corpus, it's an interesting city and there's a lot you can say about it. People don't give a fuck about that outside of Texas. They want to hear you talk about Texas. And that was some of the good advice that I pass on to comics that go out of state. Write a bunch of jokes about Texas. Write a bunch of jokes about the state that you're going to. But for the love of God, shut the fuck up about your city. Like, they won't care. Like, unless it's the most interesting city in the fucking world. Like, they're not gonna care. So,
and that is interesting, because I saw going into Texas this last trip and doing a couple shows out there, that people fucking ate Vegas stories up.
But see,
loved it.
that is the exception to the rule. Unless you live in one of the most interesting fucking cities in the world, like Vegas, New York, LA, fucking New Orleans, like Chicago. Like, those are the cities they don't want to hear about. They don't want to hear about Corpus. They don't want to hear about fucking.
If you lived in Waco, Texas, nobody gives a fuck about Waco, Texas.
I mean, the only thing that Waco's famous for was the David Koresh thing, and the time the Baylor Bear fucking mascot bit that guy's arm off. Like,
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Only two things that fucking city, and the birth of Brandon Dolly. What's up, bitches?
I'm definitely glad I got my start out here in Vegas. I definitely think that you can progress really quickly in Vegas, and I feel like I kind of did that. I'm only like 2.5, 3 years in.
But dude, you got enough fucking experience on you that you're like a fucking 4 or 5, 6 year old comic from back home.
And if I keep going here in Vegas, which again, we don't know if this is gonna happen, but if I stay out here another couple years, then I could move, let's say, to Colorado. I could move to Texas and fucking I could start shows out there. I can really like make a name out there quickly. Because, and that's another thing I noticed in Texas. You say you're a Vegas comic, people are ready to put you up.
Because Vegas comedy has that reputation, and especially in South Texas, because we have group chats, we have Facebook pages. When we do a Texas comedy fucking trip, we put it on all of those.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're a comic that runs in our scene, you know about our trips out here to Vegas. You know about the people we meet. We talk about all y'all when we go back home.
Gotcha.
That's what we do, is we come out here to scout talent, to
Yeah.
recommend to bookers back home.
Nice.
Because I mean, comedians that book shows are a dime a dozen back home. There's a lot of like bar and restaurant, shit like that. And then the comedy clubs will always have one or two comics in the scene that are paying attention to comics that are coming out. Or if you want to do the club circuit, that's there as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, and we are out here looking and meeting fucking comics, and I love what I see out here.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all have a great fucking scene.
Yeah. And it is good for a lot of you guys to come out here because there aren't a whole lot of comics here in Vegas. Like you see the open, like I'm not talking like Carrot Top and those guys. I'm talking about working, the grinding comics.
I'd say you have about like what, maybe 50 or 60,
something like
as
that.
As far as like that are hitting the open mic circuit.
Yeah, and then there are those few headliners that stay at the clubs.
Yeah,
and fuck, I lost my train of thought.
Well, that's what's beautiful about it. Like here in Vegas, the divide between the classes of comedians, I know this is a dumb way to put it, but like micers, and then the people that are like featuring and opening, and then your headliners, your legit people that are headlining fucking like the LA Comedy Club and shit like that. They're all commingling.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You can go to a mic at fucking Wise Guys this trip. John Caparello.
Oh yeah.
Fucking walked in when I was there. Drops in to fucking do a set. Like said what's up with a couple people. Like I was too terrified to ask for a photo.
Yeah.
But like that was a fucking cool experience. I got to walk on the stage after John fucking Caparello fucking hit it.
It's wild.
Yeah. Fucking
I was hanging out at the Dirty when we were out there. Fucking Rich Voss just walks by.
Yes. Dude, fucking that was a great show. That's another great show in Vegas. A Vegas staple.
Yeah.
Who does that? Gabe?
Yeah, Gabe Lopez. Dude.
Dirty
at 12:30 at South Point.
I'd love to be at that level. Like give me like 2 or 3 years, bro. Like consistently grinding.
I would love to just fucking do 5 minutes on that stage. You know what I mean?
I feel
with
like
the amount of people, it's like that would be a fucking moment.
I feel like that's something that I would need to be ready for.
Oh,
like if it came right now, I don't know if I could fucking crush that. Like I know for one, I would be nervous as fuck. Like I've been doing this for a while. I still get fucking nervous. Still get the yips like a motherfucker.
Dude, I'm the same thing. I have still to this day really bad stage fright.
Yeah.
And that's why I drink a little bit. Like I have to have like
a little bit,
just a smidge,
like a fucking fish, mate. Like a fucking fish.
The bar tabs are no joke sometimes.
Yes, the bartender knows you by your name. Like in every bar that we go to, they're like, "What's up, Antonio?"
And they just give me a Heineken right away. They know
right away, right away. I mean,
I've had a couple bartenders at some of these mics where they're grabbing me a beer. They know my usual, and I go, "Oh man, I think I'm just gonna do a water right now." And they go, "Are you all right?
Yeah. Are you dying?" Like,
and then they're worried about how much money they're gonna make if I'm not drinking.
Yeah, they're like, "Man, he's a good tipper when he drinks." Like,
I am.
They're gonna Bill Cosby you into tips.
But what I was saying is that because there aren't a whole lot of comics out here, like it really is, a couple dozen, something like that. Having guys come out from out of town, especially if you're not like a touring headliner, because those guys, they hit the major clubs, the Wise Guys, the LA Comedy Club. But for people to come from out of state and run the circuit, and you see them every night of the week while they're out here, and then they bail. That's what we like to see. Is somebody who's actually going to come here like fucking Nando and fucking hustle it and grind through it. He hated it.
He hated it so much.
It's so funny.
I drug a 45-year-old man to 2 to 3 mics a fucking night. Like we were finishing at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. He hated every minute of it. But he got on that airplane. And he told me it was the best fucking comedy trip he fucking had.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm happy for that. Like,
he probably definitely learned a lot, coming through here.
Yeah.
But I could see it in his eyes we were at another bar show. There's fucking nobody there, or everybody's talking in the back. He was like, why the fuck are we doing this?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, that's the thing. If you can make it in Vegas with audience members that aren't fucking paying attention to you, if you can get them to stop and fucking listen.
Yeah, just for even just a second, then you got them.
You got him.
Yeah.
That's worth a fucking rapid of applause back home. Yeah. Like
it's like just last night we were at Champagne's, right? There's nobody in that fucking bar. Yeah. Gang of comics in the back talking.
Except 2 women in the fucking front that were listening to and each comic went up there, tried to win those 2 women over.
Yep.
And that was a lesson in sometimes the crowds aren't big. You need to learn to work. 2 to 4 people, 6 people, 8 people, and go up from there. Yeah. Because a lot of comics are like, they're spoiled. They're like, I do 50, 100, fucking 200. Yeah. And that feeds itself. Like, laughter feeds upon laughter. Yeah. Like, if you're in a 200-seat fucking room, like, and you don't get the joke, you're gonna kind of laugh along because you don't want to look stupid.
Exactly.
Like, if there's like 4 people, 5 people, and they're not laughing, like, that is not material that you want to take back home.
Because you can kind of get, if you have a crowd, you can kind of get lost. Like, they all become one entity. Yeah. But if it's 4 people, it's 4 individual people staring at you. Exactly. And that's the worst thing in the world.
Like, comedy is not for the weak. Like, that's the thing. Like, it separates the hobbyist from the people that are taking it like serious, the semi-professionals. Yeah. Like, it's eating those bad fucking sets up like fucking candy.
What is your favorite bomb story? Oh, this is what I always love to hear.
Since I'm out so many here ways in Vegas, let me tell you about the story of my fucking trip that I took out here with my girlfriend.
All right.
So I was doing a set at the Star Lounge, the fucking one with the piano outside.
Yeah.
I was featuring for Ian and Gabe on their fucking show. Yeah. And I was doing this joke about fucking Texas history and how they make us take Texas history in middle school. And I looked up at the crowd and I said, did y'all take... Now, let me see if I can remember which way it is. Nevada? No, Nevada. I said Nevada history. And like 25 people in unison shouted Nevada at me. It just scared the shit out of me. Like, it's like when you're back at home and you do the stars at night or big at bright and all the Texans clap in fucking unison. Yeah. It was like that, but with the name of the fucking state. Like I don't know if they train y'all to like shout that. Like, if someone mispronounces it, like, y'all get so fucking sick of it.
People are so fucking weird about that.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't care. Nevada sounds weird to me. Yeah. But that's how everybody wants to say it.
I listen to a lot of BBC in the fucking morning. Shout out to NPR. Like, Nevada. Yeah. It's how the fucking Brits say it, okay? Yeah. Like...
But yeah, people get weird about that shit. Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, that was... And then I looked up and fucking realized I had lost the room and still had like 8 minutes left on the fucking set.
Yeah, that's always fun.
It was one of the more interesting bombs that I had out here where I was like... Fuck, I need to like get the name of the state right next time. Like, I was in the fucking mirror, like Nevada, like pronouncing like Joe Pesci.
Yeah, dude, that definitely sucks that you could lose the crowd, the entire crowd with just one word.
Yeah,
like you say it wrong, and that's fucked.
It'd be like that.
Yeah, that's great. My favorite bomb story, and if people listen to this podcast, I tell it all the time, but I'm at Urban Lounge and fucking everybody's eating a dick up there. Yeah. And I'm up there and I'm fucking grinding through this 10-minute set, not getting anything. Every time I hit a punchline, dude in the back, he just goes, fuck him. And he did that for like 5 minutes. After every punchline, he would just go, fuck him. Pretty much saying like, fuck the room, do your thing. And I just kept going. And then I hit a punchline and he didn't say it. And everybody at that point was waiting for him to say it. And so I just go, fuck him. And then the crowd got back on my side. They're like, yeah, fuck him. I was like, oh my God.
There you go.
That was a tough one because like I can deal with silence. Yeah, it's hard to deal with one dude just going fuck him.
Yeah. See, you took that as as encouragement, right? Like, I would have been terrified that was a threat. Like, you were going to be fucked later. Like,
Right.
he's telling you exactly what he's going to do later. Fuck him,
Fuck.
and you are him.
Oh, no.
Like,
it's like in the moment I didn't know how to feel because I didn't know exactly what he was trying to convey to me.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he was just like, nobody's laughing, but I'm listening.
Yeah,
Fuck him.
right.
Oh my god.
Fuck him, indeed.
I love it. I love bomb stories, man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I always thought that as a comedian, when you go through a bomb
Mhm.
and then you watch somebody bomb, you'd have more empathy. I don't.
I want to run.
Really?
Like, I like if you ever see me outside, like rush outside to smoke a cigarette, it's because I'm trying to outrun the awkwardness of that. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't respond well to like awkwardness, even though I myself am very awkward on stage sometimes. Like, I want to run in those situations too. Like, it's just when I see a really bad bomb, I'm like, I need to get out of here.
Dude, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I should have more empathy for the person because it's like, that could be me.
Yeah.
Like, that very well could be me.
Yeah.
But it's just, I sit there and I laugh.
Yeah.
Sometimes I laugh hard as shit and they think they're doing well. And I'm like, no, I'm laughing because you're fucking...
You're part of the problem, Antonio. Like, you're encouraging these comics.
It's just so good, though. It's my favorite thing in the world.
We all do this differently. Like, sometimes we have bad nights. Like, that's the empathetic like reaction to it. Like,
and it's like when the person gets off stage, I'll just be like, dude, that sucks. Like, everybody bombs.
Yeah.
But in the moment, just to feel that tension in the room where he's trying to just get through it and the crowd is giving him nothing, it's the best thing in the world to me. I love when people bomb.
Well, I'll look at your face next time I'm on stage, and if you're in fucking ecstasy, like, I know I'm not doing good. You're like, yes, bomb harder.
It's like people think I do a lot of cocaine in bathrooms at these clubs. It's like, no, I'm just going over there to beat off every time somebody bombs. I'm like, yes, harder.
You can do both. You can do both. I think. I mean, time management fit both things into the same run.
Yeah, it's hard to do a key bump when your hand is sticky.
Yeah, that's when you got to time it right. Yeah. Bump and then, well, your dick may not work after.
So how many different places have you done comedy? Is it just here in Texas?
Here in Texas, and then I went out to Orlando one time and hit a mic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I really haven't gotten out too much.
Yeah.
I need to. I want to. I met a bunch of comedians from like Washington and California.
Yeah.
I got a couple buddies that did a Chicago run that were Texas comics. Shout out Laredo Funny, Sarah and Fred. Went up and did a great spot with Shannon up in Chicago. And it was a fucking lot of fun, apparently. Like, I was following it from afar.
Yeah.
So I'd love to check out Chicago. Like, I got a list of cities I want to check out this next year.
For sure.
Like, I can't keep doing Vegas. Like,
Yeah.
I need to get out. Y'all fuckers are getting tired of me.
Yeah. I'm tired of you Texas guys.
Hey, fuck you.
Stay in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, I want to do that, man. I want to get out on different scenes a little bit, even if it's like a night, you know what I mean? Just one night, hit as much as you can do just to see. Because I loved Texas when I was out there.
Well, you got cheap flights, motherfucker.
I can't fly.
Oh.
I'm fucking terrified of flying.
Oh, I thought you were on like the terrorist watch list or something. No. Antonio's all Al-Qaeda, everyone.
I mean, as far as you know.
Yeah.
I fucking hate flying, dude. Yeah. It is the worst. I have such bad anxiety that sometimes the flight attendants will give me free booze because they're just like, you need something, man. And I'm like, yeah, I'm freaking the fuck out.
I don't know why you're so nervous, dude. It's not like the fall that kills you in flying. Like, it's the sudden impact at the end that like takes you out. Like if anything, you should be scared of landing, not flying.
It's all of it. Because I know as it's going down, I know how many seconds I have before I'm dead.
Yeah,
like,
you're going to be screaming like a little bitch the entire way down.
That's why, I mean, even I was on a Ferris wheel in Texas and fucking freaking the fuck out. Like, I have really bad fear of heights.
Dude, that sucks, man. One of my favorite childhood memories was getting my dick sucked on a fucking Ferris wheel. Like, it was a magical evening.
Like, childhood memories?
Well,
like, how old were you?
Like, preteen. Listen, I was a mag-ass 8-year-old.
No, Uncle Jerry, I don't want this.
Fuck you. Nah, I was like 13, 14 when that shit happened. Like, yeah, like, I was precocious.
Yeah, I can't do it. Can't do heights, man.
Yeah.
It fucks with me. So and I love this. We just go off into these stories.
These tangents.
And then I just come back to just some non sequitur question.
Go for it.
Comedy idols. Like, who are they?
Oh, man. Comedy idols. Definitely would say fucking Mitch Hedberg first.
Okay.
Like, Strategic Girl Locations was an album that I picked up in my fucking teens.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by the short form, like, joke delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And especially as I got into comedy and they're like, oh, fuck, like, you got 3 minutes, you got 4 minutes, you got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, how many things can you fit in that?
Mm-hmm.
And just being able to do short, punchy, setup, punch, tag, like, style of comedy appealed to me very much rather than telling like a 5-minute fucking story with one punchline at the end.
Yeah.
Like, and I guess that would be a major influence, at least as far as like what I do, which is, I mean, short jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, another one was, I guess it's fucking corny to say, but fucking Dave Chappelle. But not for the main reasons, but mostly because, I mean, he was a fucking teen when he was going to these clubs.
Yeah.
And really dedicated it.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me look for like the next generation of comedy, because like comedians come and go, especially in scenes.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that a lot of our micers that are here this last year, 2 years, fucking in their 20s. They're young cats.
Yeah.
And they are progressing rather fast. I mean, we really set up, I mean, a fast track in Texas comedy where, I mean, these people are fucking hosting and doing feature spots, and they're like fucking 8 months, 9 months in.
Really?
Like they're fucking grinding though.
Okay.
Like, they're doing
so it's
good.
Like deserved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, but seeing these younger guys like really like inspires me. Like any one of them could be the next fucking Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Like they're fucking like 21, 22, 23, but fucking they're gonna stick with it for like the next 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
And it inspires me in that way of like just being open to not just being stuck with doing comedy like people in the age group I'm with, like fucking 32 in their 30s, late 40s, like, but doing comedy with some of these younger guys. Yeah. And it's a lot of fucking fun. They got good energy. They got good energy.
And that's what I've always liked about comedy, is that you'll mingle with people that you otherwise probably would have never met. You know, like if you're just hanging out somewhere like at a bar or something, or you know, like coworkers, like sometimes because of like age differences and you know, different backgrounds, you'd probably never hang out with that guy. But because we all have that commonality in comedy, it's fucking, you know, we're hanging out with 50, 60-year-old people, you know. Do you know Linda Marcus Smith?
Yeah.
She's the fucking best. And she's in her 70s, you know, and she hangs out with everybody, you know, she tries, you know, giving out advice and shit, like, and she supports the hell out of everybody. But it's like, when, other than comedy, when would I ever hang out with, you know, a 70-year-old lady?
I don't know what you're into, bro. Like, you could be having some weird grandma fetishes that I'm unaware of. I don't know. I think honestly, like, I never quite liked this term, but it's almost like brothers in arms, but instead like brothers in comedy. Like you do this weird fucking thing like together. I mean, it's like all being like having the same fucking mental insanity. It's like they're the only people that understand like the itch to fucking make a joke, like make people laugh. Like
Yeah, and you know, my brother is a military guy. You know, been military guy for like 15 years, right?
Yeah.
3 tours overseas.
Yeah.
And from the age of 16 to 20, I
Yeah.
lived with him and all of his army buddies coming through. And, you know, I lived with a couple of them. And I've never seen that type of camaraderie until I started doing comedy.
Yeah.
And it's like now there is this weird brotherhood that we have because we go through the shit. We do it together.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, the drama, like the petty bullshit that's out here blows my fucking mind. I'm like, why are you? It's high school bullshit, and it's like, but aren't we all doing the same fucking thing?
It's crabs. It's crabs, dude. It's all fucking crabs. You know, like the fucking video of the crabs trying to fucking climb out of the barrel, and like they're trying to get to the top, and each crab is like grabbing the next one and pulling them fucking down.
Oh yeah.
And like no one ever gets to the fucking top.
Yeah.
It's just a mad scramble to fucking get there, and no one ever gets ahead. I mean, if the crabs just work together, they could get out of the fucking barrel. They could get to safety and freedom, but they don't.
Yeah.
They don't. They let that shit drag them down.
Yeah.
And that's a bit what like drama and comedy is, bro.
Yeah.
Like don't be the fucking crab, like pulling your fucking fellow crab down.
Yeah.
Like just fucking rise above it, bro. Like I know that's like real philosophical.
No,
a little high.
It's a good. Can you tell that Brendan Dolly smoked a joint before this?
Yeah.
No, man, it's like crabs.
Fuck you, bro.
That's the greatest. It's like crabs, man.
I sound like your STD doctor.
That's
It's just crabs, man.
Crabs, man. Oh man. Ah, damn it. So what's the ultimate goal? You want to be famous, Brandon Dolly?
I do not.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to do comedy with my friends.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
Make a living and just be comfortable.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I got a fucking side job. I mean, I'm set. I'm making good money. I can take the time off I need for comedy.
Yeah.
I want to build, get better, learn, fucking experience life, and do great shows with my friends.
Yeah.
And at one point in the future, I mean, 5, 10, 15 years down the line, start my own comedy club if need be.
Nice.
And give comedians that need that home, that comedy family, a place that they can go and call their own.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like a lot of ways that's all I ever wanted. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, as a comedian, like I wanted a home club.
Yeah.
Wanted a place that I could call my own.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of ways I found that in a couple different places.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd love to provide that place for other comics.
Like home base for a bunch
like
of comics.
you actually did a spot at a place in Houston that I recommended you to called The Secret Group.
Yeah, yeah.
And The Secret Group is special place in my heart because it's a comedy club owned for comedians, by comedians, for the benefit of comedians.
Yeah.
They got like 3 or 4 stages in there. Like they will give, if you're a hardworking comic, they will give you a job. Like they will have you watch door or fucking 10 bar or shit like that. If you need money, if you need stage time, fucking come work the fucking club. You get put on the shows.
Yeah.
Like it is what's truly beautiful is it's what happens when you take the greed out of comedy. Like as a club owner, too often we're treated as like a dog and pony show. Like they don't care about us.
Yeah.
We make money for them and that's it.
That's it.
Like, but having someone that truly cares. I mean,
who knows what it's like to go through what you're going through.
Yeah. I mean, providing that for other comics, that is my dream. Like being that light for others.
Yeah.
I mean, not only the fucking audiences that you're trying to make laugh, but the comedians that you fucking surround yourself with.
Yeah. I feel like that is kind of what everybody wants, or whatever every scene wants, is the kind of replication of what the Comedy Store was back in the day. Like you hear all these comics talk about how, you know, everybody was there, every fucking, and everybody, you know, supported each other. You would start as a door guy, and then you're fucking on stage. And yeah, I feel like everybody wants that. Everybody wants that home base that, because, you know, Comedy Store used to be.
At the end of the day, like Comedy Store was home for those comics.
Yeah.
Like, we're all just lost souls looking for our fucking home in comedy. Like, I mean, once again, being philosophical,
I was
but
just about to-
shut up. But I mean, honestly, like that's what a lot of us want. We want some place that we feel like our efforts will be acknowledged.
Yeah.
That I mean, if you put in that 5 years,
Yeah.
and you grind, like you won't just be some fucking schmuck.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you got your progression,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like a lot of times that's what Vegas comics are lacking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you stagnate out here.
Yeah.
Like, you reach a certain point where, I mean, unless you break out or unless you have fucking credits, like, you can't go any further.
Yeah.
Like, if you're just a fucking everyday schmo fucking micer, you could put in 5-10 years out here hitting all the open mics.
Yeah.
You're not getting into the LA Comedy Club. You're not getting into the Cellar. Like, you're not getting into fucking Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club.
Yeah.
Like,
the only place that does really well is, I think, Wise Guys.
Wise Guys is a fucking fantastic room.
Yeah.
And that one really... That is kind of y'all's version of the secret group.
Yeah, yeah.
Where, I mean, you can go put in your dues there and you will be rewarded.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's not a lot of other spots like that here in town.
LA Comedy Club is probably one of the hardest things to break into.
Yeah.
Like, they have their guys.
Their favorites.
Yeah. They allow 1 or 2 other people to get in there, you know, like every year. But it's a long road to get in there.
Yeah.
It's like at this point, I was just telling you about it. It's like I could get my foot into the LA Comedy Club next month.
You told me you had a throbbing erection when you told me that.
Oh,
yes. You were very turned on and excited by that news.
And then I just showed it to you, and I was like, "Look how great this is."
Yes.
But if everything goes well, I will have my foot in the door at LA Comedy Club, and I know a lot of people who have been grinding out here for like 5+ years and have never gotten that opportunity. And these are the moments where it's like I can go to a feature spot, you know, at some bar gig or whatever, and do my 10-15, and you know, it's whatever. You know, I'm still trying to do my best, but it is whatever. But to go to LA Comedy Club, oh, that's gonna be I'm gonna be a nervous wreck getting in there.
It's almost like the damn, I had a term for it. I just kind of lost it. It's almost like the
crabs, man.
Oh, fuck you. It's almost like showing your hard work has paid off. Like this is one of your end goals. One of the things to check off your comedy bucket list is to do that. And you've put in the work. You've paid your dues. You've worked hard for this moment.
Yeah.
And I mean, to have that when you've put in the work means so much more than if you were just handed it. And I'm a strong proponent of that. Like, put in the work. Like, yeah, it may seem like you're not going anywhere. But I mean, as long as you are getting all you can out of hitting those fucking mics or doing that fucking show, like, then you're getting something out of it. Like, and it's gonna pay off in the end.
Yeah. Because that is one thing I've noticed when people get shortcuts out here. It's like there's a couple shows that are kind of big name out here, but they have to typecast their lineup. So they'll get, you know, the black comic, they'll get the woman, they'll do that, and that's how they set up their lineup. And I've had them tell me, because, you know, I'm like, why did you book that person, you know? And the legit answer I was given was, I needed a female on the lineup.
No.
And I'm like, ooh. And then now she has inflated ego, thinks that she should have more than she does. And it's like, well, you still have to work.
Hey, say names.
See how nicely I dance around it?
Yeah. No, that's a valid point. It sucks when it's that way.
Yeah. Because obviously it's always good to get a break, you know? But if you, what do you call it? You just, like I said, that overinflated ego, if that's what happens right after you get your break, you'll fucking tank right afterwards.
You gotta stay humble.
That's why I usually do a terrible room if I did a good room.
Oh, so that's why you came with us to the dive bar.
Yep.
After bitching the entire time.
Because I just didn't want to do it. But then I did well at Backstop, and I was like, okay, now I got to go to dive bar and remind myself that I am terrible.
Take yourself down a fucking peg.
I have to do that.
Yeah.
I can never just go home and just be happy with what I did.
Yeah. It's the autism.
It might be.
Dude, I've been just saying that to random comics and seeing like who admits to being autistic because
I think all of us should.
Yes, we're all a little autistic in the comedy community.
We're somewhere on this spectrum.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been about an hour, Brandon Dolly.
Well, is there anything else you want to fucking talk about?
I'm trying to think. I'm still burnt after last night. So
yeah, you're toasted.
I'll probably think of a question later, but that's always a reason to have you back on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I should be back in, let's see, May.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do another big one in May.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to do 2 weeks out here and just come with a shit ton of fucking comics and have a couple different groups kind of fly in so we don't overwhelm the scene by like bringing 15 of us out all at one time. Like,
yeah,
have them come in like shifts, you know, like hookers, bring in the next ones.
Right.
So I should be back out here in May, and and you should be back in Texas before then.
Maybe.
So
maybe
we'll see.
Yeah. At this point, it's like, still trying to figure shit out. So I could be here until February.
Yeah.
I could be here for another 6 months. I could be here for another year. Like, well, it's kind of up in the air right now.
You're always welcome back home. It is nice to come out here and meet another Texan and have that fucking hospitality.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what being in Texan in comedy is all about. Yeah. I mean, recognizing your own and looking out for your own.
Yeah, for sure. And I also did it for selfish purposes,
Mm.
driving you around.
Yeah, yeah, true. But I mean, you're a fucking good heart, man.
Yeah. I'm just trying to help people out.
Yeah,
you helped me out when I was out in Texas. It's like, just repay it and fucking we'll all go places.
Yeah. Adam Dominguez said this to me, and this is the greatest way to fucking end this podcast. A rising tide raises all ships, and that has been the motto of comedy, at least in my circles, over the last couple months. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we all fucking do good together, we will all get to the top together.
Yeah. It's just crazy that you Texas guys have all these fortune cookie sayings.
Yeah, listen, motherfucker. It's the South. I mean, they tattoo us. They give us a book, actually, when we're born of, like, Southern colloquialisms. I mean, that dog don't hunt. I mean, shit like that. So,
no, that's cool. And Adam, he's probably one of the best things to come out of Texas and end up here because he's helped a lot of people out. He helped me out, several times.
Adam first, Kool-Aid second, Jacob Yarborough 45th.
Yeah. Like I
Love
said, take him back.
Love you.
Take him back.
He's doing good things. Love you, Jacob.
Yeah. He just needs to get his shit together.
Yeah.
Like I do. But he needs to get his shit together.
Best way to end the fucking podcast.
All right. Social media.
They can find me on Facebook because I'm 32 years old at Dolly Does Comedy, DOLLY Does Comedy, or you can find our production page at the Corpus Comedy Collective on Facebook. Or if you want to feel froggy, I'm on Instagram at Brandon Dolly and the number 1.
And definitely go follow Brandon on all these things. I'll have links and whatnot in the description to make it easy. Like I always say, follow me on my Instagram, _Hernandez_comedy. I don't do a whole lot with my Instagram, but I'm going to try to get better at that. If you're a new listener, please subscribe because, I try to do an episode every week and you'll fucking hear from comics from all over the place. Like I just had Dick Salas on. He's a guy out of LA, so you get to see dope comics and hear their stories and you can follow them. So go do all that shit. Other than that, I love you cocksuckers and I'll see you next time.